And that's how the theme song goes. Hey there, welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. It's a website. Go there. All right, little backstory right now. The Garry Shandling documentary, Zen Diaries of Garry Shandling, produced, and I assume directed by Judd Apatow, director, producer in Hollywood, famous man, works with a lot of famous white people. He's also really good at what he does too. Anyway, it's there. It's on right now. I've been waiting for this ever since I heard it was going to be a thing a year ago. I've been waiting for it to be coming to fruition. Here it is, and I watched about 30 minutes, and now I got to record the Constitutionals because I did not have a chance to do it today. But you know what? I'm excited. I've been waiting ever since this morning. I said I can't wait. I go to work. I can't wait. I come home. I can't wait. Then I have to pick up a check from one of my jobs. Then I come home. I eat dinner, and it comes on. Right, I get home right at 8:02. I heat up the dinner I already pre-cooked. Oh, I was so excited. Anyway. Garry Shandling is if you don't know, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about it because I assume I know how it's going to go. Garry Shandling is a comedian who had a bunch of really great shows. Larry Sanders Show, which I don't know if I ever talked about on this show, but on this show, as if I have others. The Larry Sanders Show. It's Garry Shandling's show. He definitely wrote for Sanford and Son. I think, don't quote me on this, I think he did Welcome Back, Kotter too as well. Let's see. Yeah, am I right? Television, filmography. Where's Welcome Back, Kotter? Let's see. Welcome. Yeah. He wrote for Sanford and Son and Welcome Back, Kotter. And then he essentially basically turned himself into a stand-up. He was Mitzi Shore, who was the owner of the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, said that he was more of a writer and not a performer. And he turned right around and he said, "I am a man who is a good comedian," and he became one of the best comedy peoples of all time. Not just stand up. This is obviously for me, but actually no. I'm reading on his wiki that, let's see. Oh no, that's just the Larry Sanders Show. Anyway, yeah. So I was introduced to him via Pete Holmes, who wouldn't stop talking about him, and then I believe I bought. This is how I think the history with my history with Garry Shandling went. I believe I heard Pete talk about the Larry Sanders Show because he was just rewatching it. I think this is 2016, because Garry died in 2016, early 2016. So Pete was talking about the show. I think Garry comes on the show on You Made It Weird on Pete's podcast. You Made It Weird in late 2015. I hold off on that episode because I'm going on a drive. I believe this is what's happening. I had to go on a 2-hour drive. And You Made It Weird is typically almost 3 hours long. So I held off on listening to that episode. And then Garry died. And also before Garry died, I bought the Larry Sanders Show on either I bought it right before he died or I bought it right after he died. It was within that 2-week time frame. So, because I remember it was out of stock on Amazon when I think after he died. So, Garry dies. I think I'm going, why was I holding on this episode? I'm going to listen to it now. I listened to it. It's one of the best episodes. I can remember pretty much all of it, the entire episode. And then I start watching again. I'm holding on to these things. I don't know why. I have the Larry Sanders Show. I start watching it, and then I go through it, and it's a really good show. It's a fantastic show. It's him as a fake late night host in our world. So he still references Conan, he still references Leno, still references Letterman, and Carson. So yeah, it's a wonderful show. I really like it a lot. And I'm working on getting It's Garry Shandling Show. That show preceded the Larry Sanders Show. I don't know what It's Garry Shandling Show is about. I believe it's just a sitcom. I think it's a a multicam sitcom. Al Jean produced that show. Whoa, buddy. And Mike Rice. That's how I pronounce it, Reese. And it was on Showtime, and yeah, I believe it was, and it always broke the fourth wall. That's all I know, because I've seen a bunch of clips from it, and it's $400 on Amazon for the complete series, and that's the only way to get all the seasons, unless I buy it on digitally. But I'm not doing that. I want to buy the DVDs, because that's where you get the special features, baby. And that's what's the best thing about the buying on Blu-ray. That's why I still buy physical. You know, that's why I have the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, both extended editions on Blu-ray, extended Blu-ray. All right, I got them both during. Well, I got one for Christmas, but I got Lord of the Rings during a sale, flash sale on Amazon during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. One of those, it's $20. Man, that's this is. Let's see. I think it's like 8 or 9 hours worth of. No, it's 8 hours of movie, and it's. I don't know how long the special features are, but I know it's 8 hours of movie. I know it's an entire day. I think The Hobbit is a little bit short of that. I can't wait. Watchmen. I got the Watchmen Collector's Edition. Again, bought it on sale during Black Friday sale. I think about 2 years ago. I really wanted that one. That was like It's Garry Shandling Show, like Lord of the Rings and Watchmen. There are certain things, certain sets of movies or TV shows, special editions or TV shows that are sitting in my Amazon wish list, but they're so expensive, and I don't want to spend $400 on. Like the complete series of Smallville. I think it's $200 when it came out. I think I've seen it as low as $100. I think I've seen it actually as low as 80 something. But I don't want to. I'm not spending that much money on a drama, an hour-long dramedy. Starring Superman, where they don't even say the word Superman, and you don't even get to see him fly until the last episode, barely. And so anyway, Watchmen, I bought that on sale during a Black Friday, and it was again on sale, $15. No one was gonna buy this except for me. I'm the only person who wants the Watchmen Blu-ray Collector's Edition. It's got the that cartoon, not the cartoon, Tales of the Black Freighter. I believe that's what the comic within the comic is called. It's got that interstitialized within the extended edition of the movie. Plus, it's got the digital comic in movie form, and it's got special features. Who wants that? Me. I want that. I have every single Batman movie. I have every single Superman movie. This is that, and I bought those before I said I'm not buying superhero movies anymore. And then I bought Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad. But you know what? It's whatever. I'm done buying superhero movies. Actually, I did. I'm not. I know I hate myself for saying this, but I liked Black Panther, so I got to buy that one too. And Captain America: Winter Soldier, because that one's good. That's a good one. But that's it. Maybe Thor Ragnarok. Maybe. And definitely Justice League. And at some point, I'll see that Avengers film. The fourth one, the third one. How many are there? There's too many. There's too many of those. There's gonna be that one. I think that's like 2.5 hours long. Well, I was talking about Garry Shandling. Garry Shandling's in the Marvel movies. He's in Captain America and Iron Man 2. The worst of. He's Senator Stern. Yeah, he's in. Yeah, Winter Soldier. That's why it's the best. All right, let's get on to what I was originally going to talk about. I watched the Power Rangers movie. That's not what I was really going to talk about, but I watched the Power Rangers movie, and I really enjoyed it, to my surprise. See, that's why I hate reviews. That's why I hate hearing people talk about movies. There's a lot of issues with this movie, but man, oh man, there's a lot of good stuff within this movie. All right, so new Power Rangers movie. I think it's actually called Saban's Power Rangers. I don't know why they are differentiating it like that. They really want to get the Saban name out there. Haim Saban is a producer on the movie. He is an Israeli-American media proprietor, investor, philanthropist. He's a full-on rapist, musician, record, film, and television producer. I do not condone what I just said. Oh, my gosh. Oh, he supported Hillary. Oh, all the good that did her. So, should have brought the Power Rangers to the election. Yeah, that's what we do here. We get political. I get political. It's the royal we. I just can see flashes of the Garry Shandling documentary in the background. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow right before work. I have an hour and a half, and then there's a second part tomorrow that's 2.5 hours long. Judd Apatow, what are you doing, buddy? No one has 4.5 hours to watch Garry Shandling's life story. What? How is this one gonna end? Oh my gosh. Anyway, new Power Rangers movie, directed by Dean Israelite. He did Project Almanac, I believe, and Battle Los Angeles. Now, I have not seen Battle Los Angeles. I barely know what Project Almanac is. You know what? It's a found footage movie, and that's all I know about it. Sophia Black-D'Elia is in that movie. Okay, I like her. Amy Landecker. Okay, all right. Well, that movie made $33 million. Okay, let's get back to it. So Dean Israelite he doesn't have the best rap sheet. Arn Olson wrote the script, and the movie stars. Nope. No, I'm looking at the wrong Power Rangers movie. I'm looking at Mighty Morphin. I opened up both. John Gattens wrote the script, and he wrote. I want to set the stage. He wrote Coach Carter, which I like. Real Steel, which I also like. Flight, which I like. I do have my issues with that. Need for Speed. He also co-wrote Kong Skull Island, and I really love that movie. I do. It's a good movie. What is Spectral? It was released on Netflix. James Badge Dale, Emily Mortimer, Bruce Greenwood. I served that guy. Let's take a little deviance here before we get back to this hot Power Rangers discussion. I served Bruce Greenwood at a restaurant in Roswell, Georgia, on Canton Street called 9th Street Kitchen. Now, there was this lawn area that people would sit down in the grass. You could even sit at a table or on the lawn. The lawn wasn't really that anything special. It was just grass. Treated like a picnic. It was on a slope, so it was really hard to stay up on. So he and his wife were there in Roswell, Georgia, and it's a hot summer's day, but it's in the afternoon, and it's past the lunch rush. So pretty much everybody who is gone is gone, and then there's just a few of us servers left. Before the dinner rush, and I'm someone's serving them. I already have another server there serving them, and then my manager / a server / a friend goes, Zach. He goes, that guy looks so familiar. Is he from Jurassic Park? And I haven't even seen the guy. I can't even go out there and look because the way that you approach the people, you're looking at the back of their heads, so I couldn't see their faces, and so. That was my laptop. I was searching to see if he was in Jurassic Park. He was not. I did Control F and I typed, and then I didn't get didn't get past juror. So then he goes, well, so he starts naming off movies that he's maybe in, that he's probably seen him in. And at this point, I think this is like 2000. I was in college. This is probably 2012, summer 2012. Maybe? Yeah, summer 2012. It has to be it. So he was the latest thing he'd being in was Flight. Flight. Oh my God, Dean Israelite. Whoa, that's so great. Not Dean Israelite. John Gattens. All right. Anyway, so I guess the latest thing he probably would have been in that people would have seen was Super 8. So we'd seen. Eventually, everybody's trying to guess who this guy is, and his food comes up. Him and his wife's food come up, and then Zach goes, Chad, run the food. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I go out there, I run the food, I put it down in front of him, and I look at him. He goes, thank you. I go, he doesn't say it like that. I go, oh, you're so welcome, sir. I think about this every day. That's why I'm recounting it so well. And then I leave, and I go, oh, I don't know who that guy is. Some help I was. Anyway, I leave for the day. I come back. The next time I come in and work, I look up at the entryway to the door, and one of the menus there were paper menus on clipboards to make that whole picnic feel look real. Anyway, whatever. That place is also closed. It failed. 2 restaurants there failed. I believe it was 2. And also, never mind. I'm not going to talk smack about that family. They're nice people. Bruce had signed the menu. Bruce Greenwood. He said something like, "The food is great," and he wrote Bruce Greenwood. And then I looked him up, and I said, "Oh yeah, he's in a couple of movies that I've seen before." And that's the end of the story. You're welcome. So that's Bruce Greenwood. What were we talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. I need to stop screaming. That is a hot mic there. So this Power Rangers movie, not Mighty Morphin, the regular Power Rangers movie, the one that came out last year. It's really good. We got Darcy Montgomery's in there, Naomi Scott, R.J. Seiler, who I did not appreciate. They made the butt of a lot of jokes. Becky G and Luddy Lynn. Now, they switched up the Black Ranger to be an Asian boy. And they so they all basically have their own things. Jason, the Red Ranger, is a star quarterback. He's not a turd. He's not what you think he's gonna be. He's not a turd. He's actually a really nice guy. And then Kimberly, Pink Ranger, of course, she's a cheerleader. She's cyberbullied, and then, well, it's not cyberbullying. She didn't send out a naked picture. She sent a naked picture of her friend to a guy and said, "Is this the kind of girl you want to be with?" Even though she wasn't even trying to be with that guy. And then Billy is a Blue Ranger. He's autistic. Becky is a Yellow Ranger. She's a lesbian, and which they really glossed over. They said the S word in this movie. They cursed a lot in this movie. They had a lot of suggestive themes in this movie, and but they would not say the word autistic, and they would not say anything about the Yellow Ranger being a lesbian. I mean, if you're gonna go as far as PG-13, you might as well just hop right into the boat instead of. I lost the analogy. I lost it so bad. And then we have Bill Hader was Alpha 5. His rendition was basically just Bill Hader, which is fine, but his Alpha 5 was short and kind of, he was less funny. And he said the catchphrase. He said "ay." And let me paint the picture for you. It's a Saturday night. I believe it's midnight. Is it? No, it's like 11 o'clock. I gotten home from serving that night. I'm laying down. I'm about to go to sleep. Actually, no, I'm all jacked up on chocolate frozen yogurt, which is just as bad as ice cream. I shouldn't even have corrected myself. Chocolate frozen yogurt. Actually, it was half baked, so it was Ben and Jerry's, and there were cookie dough bits in there and chocolate cookie bits. Oh, I love it so much. Oh God, I want it so bad. I gotta keep this diet right. I'm sitting there. I'm watching the new Power Rangers movie, and he says "ay," and I reacted in such a way that is just not good for it. I went, "Oh, nice! He said it. That is so good." I was just so happy he said it. But his Alpha 5 is And let me just move on to before I get onto this. And then Bryan Cranston was Zordon. You saw him die early on in the film, and then he turns into a computer. And then Elizabeth Banks is Rita Repulsa. Wonderful job. She did such a fantastic job. I cannot believe that she was not recognized in awards. Yeah, she should have been recognized. So anyway, so one of my biggest issues with this movie is that the original Power Rangers, it was this kitschy. It had this kitschy look. It was everything was practical. Every single thing was practical. Even the explosions were practical, and that's mostly because the Power Rangers derive from this Japanese art form. This Super Sentai series that's what I don't know that by heart. I read that on a Wikipedia. I'm reading on Wikipedia right now. So but then when you have something that goes from practical effects to CG to all CGI, there is even the fighting is CGI. The suits are CGI. I'm sure those kids wore, and I can say kids because they're younger than me, wore all those Green Man suits. I get with balls on them, with little white balls on them. I guarantee that those kids wore those, and it just looked so performed and fake, whereas in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, which I wish they would have called it that instead of just Saban's Power Rangers. Everybody was fighting in the TV show, even the TV show that I think is still on now on Nickelodeon. I think they're still fighting, like actual fist fighting. I wish they had stuck to their roots, instead of becoming something that they're not. But maybe it's maybe it was for the best. Maybe that's the look they had for it. But it just didn't look good. Now I understand when Rita Repulsa's with her stuff, how having that would creating the gold from the ground and pulling it from people's teeth and all this stuff. That is real CGI, but that's cool. That's understandable. But having something like the fights, when they're fighting the rock monsters, just put people in costumes, touch up the costumes with CGI, and that way it looks better. Also, another big issue I had with this, it was an origin story, which I hate in superhero movies. Which I hated Doctor Strange. For a lot of reasons, I hated Doctor Strange. I don't have an issue with the first Thor. I have so many issues with Iron Man. I have so many issues. Man of Steel wasn't. I'm good with Man of Steel. But that's why Spider-Man Homecoming and Black Panther and Suicide Squad, that's why these and what else? Man of Steel and let's see. I'm looking at these movies that I own. But that's why those movies were so fine and good, because they didn't rely on setting up different types of backstory and stuff like that. Especially for Black Panther, because that's the movie you kind of needed for it. But you know what? They didn't do it, and we're better off without it. Spider-Man, we've gotten 2 different reboots. We've gotten 7 different TV shows. I'm not entirely sure. For Superman, we know where his. Oh, Jesus, sorry, just knocked the microphone. We know where his superpowers come from. I'm sure for Ben Affleck's Batman, standalone Batman film, where it's not going to be, it's just going to be old man Batman, like Logan. So, we don't need 30. This movie was 33 minutes until we got to them being Power Rangers. We got, just like it, they separated these kids and showed us their problems, but unlike it wasn't as deep as it needed to be. For Stephen King, for the new version of it, we got, that movie was 2 hours and change, but what we got of it was a coming of age movie and a horror movie. And from the coming of age part of the movie, it was wonderful. And we got to spend enough time with these kids that might have been a little bit too much, but it was bordering on just fine. And then for Power Rangers, you're spending 5 minutes with these kids max, with each of the kids, and barely some of them. Like for what's his name, Zach. For Zach, they say his mom's sick. Okay, there we go. For Trini, yeah, she doesn't like her family. Okay, go. What I would have done. And probably the movie maybe would have been better for this, but what I would have done is so the issue was they find out they're Power Rangers. Great. They don't turn into Power Rangers until, I believe, until 30 minutes till the end. So that last third of the movie, the last third act of the film, they finally turn to the Power Rangers. So this movie is an hour and 50 minutes long. You are spending an hour and, I can't do the math right now, 110 minutes. That's how long the movie is. You're spending 80 minutes with them, 80 minutes until they become the Power Rangers. Actually, no, they tease you a little bit. They blue ball you. I can say that on this podcast. It's not a curse word. It's not even suggestive. They make Billy, the Blue Ranger, RJ Cyler, they let him get his suit, and then he can't get it back. He gets it for 5 seconds, then he can't get it back, which is a waste of my time. So what I would have done is I would have let them, if you're gonna split them up and tell their stories, and if you're not gonna show them their powers yet. So the issue was that Alpha 5 and Zordon were trying to teach them how to morph together. They have to morph together. No, I would have said, let them morph from their own individually, and then they're unable to morph together because in the movie there's one part where Zach says, or is it Zach? Or is it Kimberly? One of them, I don't know. There's 5 of these kids. I don't care. I think it was Zach, where Zach says, "Oh no, I think it's Billy." Billy says, "We're all friends, and let's be friends, and let's open up and tell our stories to each other." So that should have been that. That's fine. That up until that moment, that would have been great. But before that, prior to that, they should each turn individually. So we have Jason having his issues at home. So prime example. Rita Repulsa visits Trini at home in the middle of the night. She's the only one she visits, and I don't know why. And she tries to get her to turn on the other Power Rangers. Obviously, Trini doesn't, blah, blah, blah. But they have a fight in Trini's room. First of all, her family doesn't wake up. She destroys all these walls, and stuff flies everywhere. And people are just like, it's the middle of the night. If I heard that, I'd be like, what? Like, what the heck's going on there, Trini? If I were her parents. So what they should have done was, during that fight, Trini should have been able to turn into the Yellow Ranger. Billy, I'm okay with him turning into the Blue Ranger because he's trying to break up a fight with Jason and Zach. That happens in the movie. So that they should have kept that. And then Trini should have turned to the Yellow Ranger during that fight. Kimberly should have turned. All right. So Kimberly has an issue where she's basically kicked off of her cheerleading squad, and she's being bullied by her former friends. So they should have bullied her, and then she should have gotten like so mad or something. She should have turned not mad, or like so upset. She should have turned to the Pink Ranger. Jason should have been. He was his dad, who was played by David Denman. You've seen him on The Office, and a bunch of failed comedy pilots. That's not funny, but it's just so true. Like Traffic Light, and let's see, he's in The Office, Traffic Light. He was in, God, he's in a lot of stuff. He can work. Good for him, though. I like him. Angel from Hell, Logan Lucky. So Logan Lucky in the movie. So anyway, so Jason's story basically is that he flipped his car, ruined his career for football and the high school's chances of going all the way. So what he should, and this is, and because I think because he was playing a prank on the school by bringing a cow into the school, and he was running away from the police, and I think he killed his friend. I'm not entirely sure. So what they should have done was, then David Denman, Jason's dad, brings the truck body back. He says that the truck is able to be fixed. It's only up to Jason if he can fix it himself. So Jason should have been fixing the truck, and then the truck, I don't know, he's struggling with it, and he gets so mad, and then that channels the Red Ranger. And then for Zach, he sees his mom coughing, and then that channels the Black Ranger. That they should have turned individually. That would have been so much better. I think so. I think that would have been wonderful. And then we have the Zords in the movie, and that was cool seeing that. That could have been all CGI. I don't care about that. And then Alpha 5 was fine. Anyway, I had a lot of issues with that movie, but in the end, I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that was really enjoyable, and it's actually really funny. But if you're gonna curse, and if you're gonna make it into this whole charade of a PG-13 movie, you can at least mention autism by its name and not just say, "Oh, I'm on the spectrum," and then have a character offhandedly say, "Oh, I know, we figured, I guessed," and then you can't just gloss over Trini's sexuality. Just say, "Jesus, Chad, oh my God, inappropriate." Come on, computer. But you can't just. I was on a roll, but you can't just have that stuff happen and not treat it like it's not happening, because it doesn't make sense. And honestly, I didn't want to talk this long about the Power Rangers, but I went off for 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. I want to mention a couple of things really quick before I hang up and watch iZombie. So another Blockbuster closed, and apparently there are 5 more that are still around. Also, the Blockbuster owner, he passed away. Blockbuster owner, the Blockbuster president. I believe that's what I'm looking for. President, Chad. You can't spell, you idiot. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen. David Cook? Is that his name? David Cook? One of these people. Founder David Cook. All right, so I'm going to look up. Is it David Cook? No. Let's see. Anyway, the original Blockbuster guy passed away this past weekend. Blockbuster. I should just type in Blockbuster dead. Blockbuster dead. Wayne Huizenga. He's a Blockbuster video billionaire and owner of pro sports teams. H. Wayne Huizenga, who grew Blockbuster into the country's, this is from Deadline, into the country's dominant video rental outlet, died Thursday at his home in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was 80. A cause of death has not been disclosed, but reports indicate that the billionaire, former owner of the NFL's Miami Dolphins, was battling cancer. So he died. And then there was another Blockbuster closed. Let's see where that was. Let's see. Last Blockbuster in Texas. Nope. Blockbuster still exists in a couple of places. This is Business Insider in the U.S., but they're moving closer to the edge of extinction. Here's a look inside. Oh my gosh. The Blockbuster in Alaska? Oh, of course. That makes sense. 3 of the few remaining Blockbusters in the U.S. have already closed in 2018. Now there are less than 10 Blockbusters locations still open in the U.S. Okay, so I was wrong. So double my answer. Most of the remaining Blockbuster locations are in Alaska, where long winters and slow Wi-Fi help keep a couple of stores open. That's insane that these still exist. That's so great. When I was younger, I used to go to Blockbuster every Sunday after church, and then I would rent a game, keep it for a week, something like that, and then return it the next week. I love Blockbuster. I love renting things. I think GameFly is great. I was on our Netflix account is so old. It's definitely one of the ones from the early 2000s because I rented DVDs so much, and then when it turned into streaming, I said, streaming and DVDs? This is insane. What is streaming? What does streaming mean? And I still use DVDs. That's why I buy things physical, because I just love special features and stuff. But renting is so fun. That's why I like going to Redbox. Redbox, there's so many ways to earn points. You can spend just $1 on a movie. All you got to do is return it before 9 o'clock the next day. Reserve it. Go pick it up. That's it. Pick up dinner. That's it. Make it a nice Saturday. Oh, boy. Got a girl in your arm. One of those is a lie, and it's probably the last one. But I love Blockbuster. I got nothing against it, and I hope I hope we can stay renting movies physically. Because digitally, I'm not spending $7 to rent a movie at home. If I'm going to spend $7 on a movie, I'm going to spend $8 and go to the theater. And last but not least, another movie-related thing. MoviePass lowered its subs again. So if you know, I have a very big issue with MoviePass in that the company's not going to make money. So the company, I don't even think they're in the positive right now. Same thing with Spotify and Twitter. They're just not making money. Facebook's on the way down. So if you read the news, but they're just not making money, and I don't see how it's a sustainable business. And I guess this is just the business part of my brain, where I have this thing where I basically always stay on the side of not always. I'm not going to say that. I try to see the side of the issue from whatever issue that it is with movies or business or something like this from both sides. So basically, MoviePass cut its subs. So MoviePass is the $10 a month service. You get to see one movie a day. You have to download an app, and you get a free credit card or whatever. So anyway, $10 a month, you get one movie a day. That's it. You can't use it for anything else. And if they see that you're doing that, they're gonna charge you like what, $250, something like that. And then if you drop the subscription for whatever reason you drop subscription, then you can't join for 9 months. I don't appreciate that. I'm not spending $10 a month. I'm not going to watch one movie a day. It's just a waste of my time, waste of my money. Because for $10, I could go fill up my hybrid with gas. So anyway, earlier for like the past 2 months, they dropped the price from $10 to $8.95 or $8.50 or $8. It's like $7.95 or no, it's like $8. That's only if you buy annually. So instead of spending $120 per year, you're spending something like $90-ish per year. But then this past week, I think like 3 days ago, they dropped it down to $6.95 per month, which is essentially $70. I don't know. I'm not doing the math right. $70 per year. But you have to buy it annually in order to get those latter two prices. But anyway, eventually these guys are going to go open. What am I talking about? They're going to go open. They're going to go public. And so you're going to be able to invest in them. I don't approve of this business. The one, Mitch Lowe is the guy who created MoviePass. He was also one of the people who helped start Netflix. And if you have seen my news times before, I've done a couple episodes on MoviePass. I think like 3 or 4. I think 3. Mitch Lowe is using the Netflix model to get MoviePass big. But it's just, I don't know. I don't see how this is helping out theaters. Of course, yes, it's boosting attendance, whatever. We can see the numbers and stuff like that. I don't see how this is helping it, because you're not allowed to use this with rewards cards. You're not allowed to buy concessions with it. If they see you buying concessions, again, they'll charge you $250. And there's just so many restrictions with it. It's just not I understand $10 is nothing in the long run, especially for seeing movies, especially if you live in San Francisco or New York or LA or wherever. And I live in the suburbs of Atlanta, but still, and I'm spending $8 or $9 at most on a ticket if I go to the right place. I'm not going to go to your AMC's. I'm not going to go to your Cinemarks. I'm not going to your United Artists. I'm going to go to my mom and pop movie theater, Aurora Cineplex, where prices don't go above $9. Thank God. Hopefully, knock on wood. I hope. Anyway, so I don't see how they can be sustained for. I mean, and they had I'm not gonna say they had trouble getting money, but whoever's giving them money now is oh my God, is not an analytics firm. I'm thinking about Cambridge Analytica because it's in the news right now. But they're not even an accounting firm. What are they? Somebody gave. I'm not gonna look them up because this episode is too long. And this episode is way too long. It's almost crazy. Anyway, MoviePass dropped the prices. That's all I gotta know. I just don't see them making money in the future. They also had trouble giving out their cards in the first place. So anyway, if you want to hear me talk about something with a little bit more know-it-all, wherewithal, I don't know if I'm saying this right, you can always head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where we've got the latest news, reviews, features, interviews, and other good comedy bits that only I can provide you with. If you don't believe that I just counted out all of those on my hand so I can say them right, I just did. So believe it. Naruto. I've never seen an episode of Naruto in my life. Dragon Ball Super ended. I've never seen. I'm just all over the place tonight. I was tired all day, and now here I am being all loopy and stuff, and I got iZombie to watch. Okay, and Garry Shandling's doc. Okay, so what else? Where was I? Okay, you can follow us on Twitter @CPlusComedy. Follow me on Twitter @ChatBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Go to the webpage youtube.com/CPlusComedy, where you can watch our premiere show, News Time. It's a great show, weekly news show that I pick a topic and I write a script and then I produce an episode. It's way to produce and it's really good. This week's episode, which is out right now, is about VR in Hollywood. I talk about that book I hate, Ready Player One. The book I hate so much I couldn't even finish it. Ready Player One. The movie's coming out this week, and it's supposed to introduce virtual reality to Hollywood. So much so that people are like Warner Brothers, the top 6 movie studios: Warner, Disney, Paramount, Universal, Fox. There's another one I'm forgetting, but anyway, they're all interested in creating virtual reality stuff. But virtual reality is actually becoming antiquated, and augmented reality is becoming the next big thing, mostly because companies like Apple are investing in augmented reality, and they don't really invest in things that early on. So this is crazy that they're doing that. So anyway, it's good. There's a way too overproduced cold open that I love and enjoy so much, so you should watch it. Also, this is the 50th episode of this stupid podcast. This is insane. In 2 weeks, there'll be a long episode, I hope. I don't know. That celebrates the year. Anyway, this is too long. I'm going to hang up. Okay. Go youtube.com/seamlesscomedy. Bye.